This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes and may not be suitable for all audiences.
What is up, people? Welcome to In the Sigh of the Storm with your boy Jack Trice. We waiting on Marcus Pfizer to jump on. Brent Curvey, he's at football practice late, so we won't have him tonight. But he's out there thinking about us. And then we got our bearded genius Chris Shipley back here, on to help me out, so I'm not by myself. First of all, that intro, I've been thinking about this for a while, and it says, I'm the cousin of Jack Trice, and that's about it. Man, Joe, I love you, man. You always watching us. Good love.
Joe is always on.
But when I was looking at that, I'm looking at, okay, Marcus in his uniform, Brent in his uniform, and I didn't do nothing. So first of all, let me go back. For all my listeners on my foundation page, I am a real person. So yes, we are here supporting the kids, but I do cuss. So I this is just real, and kids can cuss too, like when they're in college. So let's get that straight. So if I do,
right.
I apologize. I'm saying that out there. This is an explicit podcast. But I wanted to, the movie Gridiron Gang. I'll see Marcus on there. The movie Gridiron Gang with The Rock and Exhibit. When The Rock get out there and put on a uniform and start hitting them little boys, like when he get out there to try to show them. Man, I'm going to go into my old high school uniform, number 52, and I'm going to throw that on, and I'm going to put that on our new intro. So, Ship, I'm going to send you a new intro of me in my high school uniform. Yeah.
What?
I'll plug in the VHS tape.
What are we doing
here? Splice that in. I'll splice in your VHS beta highlights. And we'll get it right in there, George.
I'm upset and I'm jealous because you got you in your uniform, Curvey in his uniform doing stuff, and because I didn't do it like that, I'm gonna put my old high school jersey on and uniform full on. I'm a little heavier than I was, but I'm gonna put that on. It's gonna be like Gridiron Gang out here, Exhibit and The Rock when they out there. That's what it's gonna be like.
I thought
the video of me doing that.
Video clips were great with you unveiling the sign and walking through the person walking through the barrier.
So Brandon Thomas said, "What's up, Marcus?" And I want to call out Brandon because he's an asshole sometimes. He's my best friend, and he's an asshole sometimes. And I posted like, "Would you like to see me play Jack in the movie?" And he's like, "So you want us to believe that you can play somebody half your age and you're gonna get a stunt double because you old?" Basically, is what he said. So he's like, "So how would you even play it?" So Brandon, thanks, man. I appreciate you. So Marcus, what up, man? Welcome back to the Side of Storm.
What's going on, fellas?
Are you on a new laptop or the old laptop?
New laptop.
Man,
I had to break down and get it on.
How long ago did you pull that out of the box? Like a half an hour ago?
No, I opened it last night. But when I got home, we didn't got older. You remember back in the day, as soon as you got something new, it was like bam to the crib before you got home. Like I got home and sat down, set it on the bed, started making food with the wife for the kids, and then started back watching the binging of Suits we've been doing, and it's like, what's that boxing on the end of the bed? And it's a laptop. Let me go ahead and reach down there, got a knife to open it up, and been playing with it ever since. But
so FYI, Mary, I see you out there, and Denny always watching us too. But Marcus has had issues with his computer since we started this almost 2 years ago.
My kids.
he blamed the kids. They
That's
always
my
doing
kid,
Roblox or Fortnite or
That's
something
my
on
kids,
it.
man. Like
Now he
just
probably got a new laptop that's just his. Is this just yours?
listen. It's mine. I went to I went to my daughter's room and I was asking her for. I was like, "Where's my lamp for my podcast?" She gonna say, "This is what she said. You need your mic too." I said, "What do you mean? Do I need my mic too?" I said, and then she didn't even have it plugged up. She didn't even have it plugged up to a Mac. I'm like, come on now. You know I need my mic and everything for my podcast on Monday.
Man,
So,
kids, man, that's crazy.
Hey, that Roblox, whatever it is real important to them.
I had to buy a new Wi-Fi system because the boys are home now, and every night I'm trying to broadcast or podcast or produce, and things are scrolling, and so I finally broke down about a new Wi-Fi system that wasn't made in 2012. So
right.
Hey,
I mean, the same way with my Mac. Like I gave it to her. Like she just kept taking over it. I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and unleash this to you so you can have your fun or whatever.
That's what's up. Hey, Drinks and Things podcast watching us right now. Hey, Marcus, Goins, can we call you by your nickname still? Can we still call you BP? Brandon asked that a long time ago. So if we can still call you BP, we ain't gotta tell everybody what it means, but if we can still call you BP, please let that know in the comments. So Drinks and Things, another podcast I've been on, and they Iowa Staters as well. If you haven't checked out their podcast, check out their podcast. And he said, you know it. Hey, put your ad for your podcast in there, Drinks and Things, so people can watch that as well. Showing love and support for everybody that's out there trying to do their thing, especially when they're Iowa Stater at heart, Cyclones forever. So, couple things. 12 days to Iowa State football. So UNI, 12 days, ready to go, ready for football. Preseason is on right now, and I do want to kind of set the record straight. And I've been lying to myself for a long time, and I want to really come clean. As we get older, we want to come and get clean. And so, for a while, I've been saying that the Ravens' first Super Bowl has been the Cleveland Browns Super Bowl, and I got to get that out of my mind. The Browns left in '96 from Cleveland. Cleveland is the city. And the reason I'm talking about this right now is because the Ravens playing tonight for Monday night tonight. And I always said, the Ravens' first Super Bowl was actually the Browns' Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that is because Art Modell took the Browns away in '96, February of '96.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. So technically, Ray Lewis was drafted by the Ravens, who they shouldn't even had that pick because they were an expansion team. But they drafted really. Ray Lewis was a Brown. He was Art Modell, Cleveland Brown, and the only reason it wasn't was because the agreement was that Art Modell had to leave everything in Cleveland, name, color, records, everything had to stay in Cleveland, but he can just take everything else. And all the staff didn't go. But I always said, we lost our team for a while, and I always claimed that first Super Bowl because that was our locker room, that was our culture. So the Ravens' first Super Bowl was ours, but now I have to really come to the realization that I've been lying to myself all these years. The Browns have not won a Super Bowl and haven't been close. So, yeah, it's been sad. It's been a day, all day watching get on and actually coming.
So what you're saying is the Johnny Manziel untold story didn't make you feel any better?
It did not. It did not. It did not. But I will say one of the things, Seneca, I moved back. So I've been with Nationwide for 17 years. And Nationwide is a sponsor of the Jack Trice 100 game. And I've been with them for 17 years. And I moved back to Ohio in 2010. It was June of 2010 I moved back. Seneca got traded to the Browns, and he played for the Browns that same year as out there. So that was my highlight of being back home because we had a box at the Cavs, the Gund Arena. So we had a box. Nationwide had a box for the games. We had 22 games, and I think it was September or July or August when LeBron went on TV. I was in the bar eating some chicken wings. Me and my buddies like, yeah, we're gonna eat these chicken wings. LeBron coming back, whatever. He ain't gonna go on public TV and say he's leaving us. He left us. I almost choked on the chicken. It was bad. It was sad. It was a sad day. Yeah, we always lose, Marcus. This isn't the first time. We probably lose 3 more times before this podcast. That's just what he does. But yeah, no. So we talk about Cleveland sports. Oh, he's back. Denny was worried about you, man.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get this
damn kids.
new computer.
Hold on, he's gonna be doing Windows updates while he's on the podcast. We have to restart it for 5 minutes.
Everything is jumping. All the free subscriptions and stuff is popping up. Like they know I'm on Wi-Fi now.
Yep.
You're not getting me with that, buddy.
So shit, what did you get for your Wi-Fi? Because I commented on there that you should get the Eero or the Google with the mesh system. What did you get?
I got the Eero mesh system
right.
because it's Amazon compatible. We have some Amazon devices in the house.
So far, review.
Dude, slick as hell to get set up. I mean, it was slick. I had it all set up in probably 20 minutes on all 3 levels of the house. I did a speed test the day before, and I think I was at like 35 meg download. Now, granted, I'm paying for 1,000, and I checked it this morning, and it was at 750 down.
And that's on Wi-Fi.
That's on Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, "Holy smokes, what a difference!" So
yeah.
And
no more lagging for you.
Right. Well,
don't let Marcus Jr. come to your house.
Well, so that's just it. So Josh is helping me set everything up, and it's not 30 seconds, and I get a ping on my phone. He's got like 3 devices connected already, and I was like, "Hold on." You're going to connect each device because I'm going to name them so I know whose device it is. I don't want just an IP address.
His profile when you want to shut them off.
Right. I don't want, Xbox. I don't want, Microsoft Corporation listed because I don't know whose laptop that is. When you connect it, tell me, then I know. That way I can just shut it off at a whims or anytime I feel like they're not living up to their obligations. So
I like that.
Denny, I'm using MediaCom and I absolutely hate it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I hated it. When I lived in Iowa, I hated MediaCom too.
I'm praying for the day we get my fiber out here.
The best internet I had was fiber. It was in Southern California. It was Verizon Fios. I had that. In Ohio, I had AT&T fiber. And right now, there's a new company that might be coming out towards Iowa. They call it Wired, and they're fiber as well. So I got a gig, and it's slick. I have no issues ever. So. And I have the Orbi mesh system because I got like 70 devices, security cameras and everything. I got like 70 devices connected. So I had to get something that can handle the square footage and everything that I had. So
that was a big thing for me was the square footage because it's setting some stuff up out in the garage for game watches and stuff like that. And it was struggling to get anything out in the garage. I bought a big inflatable screen and things like that. So that's part of the reason why I went and got something bigger, and man, what a difference it's made around here.
So just so y'all know, this is Best Buy Geek Squad. That's the beginning of every podcast.
That's right.
Who have Best Buy Geek Squad services. So if you have a service provider issue or you need some help with your technology, that is what we're here for. Not just about sports. So again, 12 days to Iowa State football. School is back in session. I saw a lot of pictures of the Butter Jack. I was not able to get out there. The Butter Jack, the Butter Kurt, the Butter Caitlin. So what's up to them? I talked to the creator who's apprenticing her daughters to do it and take over it. But that's, it's awesome that she's doing that. And a good homage to Jack, and the Iowa State exhibit was great as well. I saw a lot of pictures of kids putting their head in a uniform and walking through the replica of the breaking barriers there. So wanted to shout those couple things out real quick. I did want to talk about a post that I had out there. As we talk about the 100th anniversary, I do want to shout out a company called Home Field Apparel. Ship, I don't know if you can pull the picture of that up. Home Field Apparel is having a release of different vintage stuff coming out here every day for the next, I think, 2 weeks or something like that. And today was the kickoff of it. And I got wind of it on Saturday that they were going to do the Jack Trice release, but I didn't see it. And this morning they released the Jack Trice bomber jacket, which is a black wool jacket, Iowa State on the back in white, and then the 5 bars on the front. So this is the jacket, the bomber jacket. It's about $160. It's pretty slick.
Ooh. It is. Yep. It is nice. Pretty
slick. So
pretty
you got the other picture of the back. You got the one of her in the back. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So
4X me, please.
So
sorry, they only go to 3X.
Come on, here we go.
That,
There we go.
that and the price tag stopped me.
So
I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to understand why so many athletic apparels are not big enough for the athletes who probably would wear them. I'm sure there's like some 6, 7, 8X guys like at Iowa State or in the NFL, and you're going to stop at 3?
Yep. That's the issue. You can't get the big sizes because even Allbirds out of Chicago. I love the Allbird shoes, and they only go to 14. I'm a 15. It's like, come on, shoes. You gotta go. You gotta cater to people that's gonna wear your stuff because you're limiting yourself. But I will talk to the company. So the company is actually sending me a few of those jackets, and I am going to raffle or auction them off here when I get them. I don't know what sizes I have, but I'll tell y'all. But I'm going to get a couple of them from the company. They are now going to be a supporter of us. And so
nice.
Then he said you can't wear anything under them. You just got to go naked. or you do the Buddy Love spandex, all spandex. You just be out there getting it. But yeah, so shout out to Home Field. They got some other stuff too, so check them out. Yeah, the price tag on the jacket is $160. It's kind of steep. So, I'll do a raffle and you can buy a raffle ticket for like $5 for one raffle, $20 for like 5 tickets, something like that, and then we'll see what size we get and we'll do something like that. So you got a chance to win, but you ain't got to spend $160. You can spend $20, just get in there and do it. So we'll let you know when we get that, but it's a lot of collaborations and things going on right now. Again, I brought that up because we talked about the butter jack, but then, I want Ship to show what he has on his desk right now because it's been a whirlwind of a story. So Sam Anker, we had him on with Brent. So yeah, Shipley is showing the can of the Legend beer with Peachtree and First Down Brewing. And so I haven't actually been able to taste it yet. They can't ship beer because it'll probably explode. But I want to shout out Sam Anker and Megan over at Peachtree for doing this. And I'm gonna call Megan out. I don't think she listens to us, so it's okay. She didn't realize, like, when we told her this was gonna be big, I don't think she believed us. So we started with initial agreement of 500 cases. Well, we pre-sold like 70 cases, 60 to one bar, and then I was gonna have at least 10 for our tailgate. Well, they pre-sold that and oversold it, so they went to the second brewing of 500 cases. Well, that one sold out. So she had to short everybody on their first order. And we're on the third production of another 500 cases. That's 1,500 cases. And the season hasn't started yet, y'all. So thank you. I don't know how much money the foundation is getting because we didn't talk numbers. We didn't know how big this was going to be. But now I can start talking numbers with them because it's getting big. We still got 6 more home games, 12 more games in that. We got to see Denny. BP, you got to show us that white Ames jacket. You got to send that in the chat or send it in the text so we can see that. But, thanks y'all for the love. And as we talked about when Brent was on, there are 3 Ames beers, 3 Iowa State beers. People drink beer. This beer is not a chugger. I mean, Ship, you can give us your review of it, but it's not a chugging beer. It's not a Bud Light. It's a craft beer. It's what it is. And you don't pound those. It's something to sip, but as you sip slow. The Ames Lager, I don't know what that is. So let's see what those all talk about. So when I get back, I'm going to be back for the Oklahoma State game. I'm just going to tailgate. I don't know if I'm going to the game or not, but I'll be out there. So Ship, what is your review of the beer?
So we went to the brewery and got it straight from the tap. So nice. It was red corn ale. So it's got a nice dark color to it. It's really good. To your point, George, it's not something that I could sit and pound at a tailgate 3, 4, 5 beers, but it's what it is. It's good for a victory drink afterwards, sipping afterwards. If you're at a game watch or whatever, and you're just drinking a beer to across the game or watching a game, it's got good flavor. It's bountiful. It's not too heavy, but man, it was really good. I had 2 of them in a sitting, and I rarely drink craft beer, so I had 2. Sitting out there on the patio of theirs. It was a beautiful night. And let me tell you, there were people going up asking specifically for the Legend beer. They knew it was out there and they were going to the distillery to hit it up. Nice. So, yep. And I've been looking for it at Fairway here in town. I live in a small town just outside of Des Moines. So, but I've heard online, Twitter, and so on that people are finding it out in in the wild. And Sam, I didn't come to Winterset because it was a late minute thing, but I'm heading down to Winterset the next time to drink it straight from the tab down there. So,
well, Sam, correct us if we're wrong. Does it get released actually in stores on the 25th? Since you're watching and listening, does it go out on the 25th? I think that was the date that they said it would actually be in stores.
I thought he said today that you would see it fairly soon.
Okay.
Let me bring. He'll answer, I'm sure, but
he'll answer us on there. Because I've had friends from California that are from Carroll, Iowa, that want it out that way too. So, Joel said just Fairway. He's seen it at
shipping the stores this week. Yep. So Sam says shipping the stores this week. So, awesome deal. No, it's really good. And I am not a big craft beer drinker. I bought 2 6-packs. So what's that tell you?
So Sam, are we still at three brews? So 1,500 cases, or did we go into our 4th yet? But while we're waiting on him to do that, but again, it's a lot of things going on for Jack Trice and for Iowa State this year. And I wanted to actually start with the positives because we always got to talk about the negatives as well. But I do want to say that, today was a day where, Jarrell did leave the program today voluntarily. And so that was announced. It was speculated for a while, but he actually did leave. And I actually talked to his mom today. He's in good spirits. The family's in good spirits. So big ups to him, and we support him and how this turns out, because he got to keep his head up through all this process and everything like that. So, as they say, trust the process, let him do his thing. But we wish everybody that has stepped away to handle this business. We wish them well. Just big ups to them for that. So 5 players, roughly are out. Still 3. Okay, thanks, Sam. We got 3. We're gonna keep pushing it out because we're gonna keep selling it. But five players out right now. We lost 8 of our last of 9 games, and only beat 1 Big 12 opponent. We finished 4-8, and this was our first non-bowl season since 2016. We did not have a great year last year. Now, losing 5 players, I think all 5 of them were starters, or 4 of the 5 were starters, something like that. But this is going to be a big hit for us. So before we talk about that, we also want to have a new segment where we're going to start revealing our picks for the season before the game start. And it's still early, but we wanted to get our picks out for the UNI Iowa State game. And so Brent's not here. He's riding with Iowa State. Marcus, who you riding with? You can be honest.
I'm riding with us on that game for sure. I mean, I know it's going to be the first game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We're getting out the gates in the midst of everything that's going on, so that's going to set the tone, hopefully. So we need to get that one. I mean, losing so many players, so many starters, with the year we're trying to rebuild and rebound from last year. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to go against any team in the state of Iowa that we're facing, and so of course I'm riding with us.
Yep. What about you, Ship?
I'm such a homer. I mean, every year I build it up to the point where I think we should just pound the shit out of them. But this time I think that we might just do that. I think Campbell's going to make a statement. I think people have been kind of questioning him in the offseason and the program in the offseason. Saw a couple quotes in articles today from John Heacock, who has talked about, our secondary is second to none in the Big 12. And he's talking about a couple of these guys on the defensive line that I think are going to surprise a lot of people. And I've been watching a lot of camp stuff with Ryan Clanton in the offensive line. I think people are doubting him, and I think they're going to come out and they're just going to pound the piss out of him. That's what I want to see, because I'm tired of playing close to them. I'd like for us to go out one time in that opening game and just beat them into the ground and show some dominance. So that's what I'm expecting. And I do think that we're going to surprise quite a few people this year.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the fact that we lost our games. 8 of the games that we lost, or 7 of the games we lost by less than 7 points.
Yeah,
I look at that and I say, the first 3, I'm going the first 3 games. Iowa State, first 3 games. So UNI, Iowa, Ohio. And Ohio's my Ohio, that's my hometown. But I'm going with us at least for the first 3. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna commit to the first 3, ISU all the way. I'll be back for the Oklahoma State game, which is the 4th game. My concern as we look at this is playing teams we haven't played before. So Cincinnati, which is after that Jack Trice 100 game, and then BYU in November. So those two games, you can't prepare for them as much as you can the games you typically play every year. But now that we have these new teams, those are where I'm going to start to get, try to feel out how those teams play. So now it makes me watch those teams more to see how they look as well, because I haven't been doing the scouting until recently. That's when you start doing really doing the scouting and seeing what these teams are about. So, I'm going the first three us, and then I'll make my predictions after those three.
Well, and I think this offseason has been super hard because you haven't known who's going to play and who's not going to play because of the gambling stuff that's held over.
Right.
I've heard quite a few pundits that have talked about it's the hardest offseason that they've had to write articles on and things like that, because they just don't know. I mean, everybody's heard the rumors, but nothing was concrete. And the minute you start, banking on those rumors to be true is when they won't be true. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm optimistic about UNI. Our talent level is just to the point where we should not lose to them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not, this isn't 2016 when Campbell came in and, we lost to UNI because he just didn't have the horses.
Yeah.
So, the Iowa game, man, I want to stick it to them so bad. I want to beat them at home so bad. I've been in that stadium two games in a row, and the heartache of losing that game is just listening to their fans celebrate inside of Jack Trice Stadium just pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that game. I'm actually gonna be in Colorado at the Colorado-Nebraska game that weekend. Actually, doing some scouting on the CU tip. But this was planned because that's a big rivalry, and me and PJ, PJ Marcus. So me and PJ, we normally go to one big game a year, and it just happened to be that game. And the only reason is because PJ is very nervous. He's a nervous Nelly, and I hope he's listening. He's gonna be listening to this because he gets mad at me. But he does not like to go to that game. So one time we were at the Iowa game, and he was he had to walk out of Jamie's suite. We were in Jamie's office for the game. And he walked out in the hallway. And then we started winning because he walked in the hallway. So he stayed in the hallway for basically the whole game. That's how superstitious PJ is. So BP said he sent you a message that back in the box. So we're gonna be at that CU game and see how that is, and see what Coach Prime gonna do. So that's gonna be interesting to be out there for that.
That game is in Colorado.
That game is in Colorado. So you close too. We're gonna be out there that weekend, man. I think that's September 9th. So whatever that weekend is. Yep. But as Ship's pulling that out, we'll let you pull that up, but we'll go to our first break and we'll bring up that Revelton. Revelton supports us. We're trying to find some more sponsors. So if you're interested in there, I'm working on some things right now, but Revelton, do your thing.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
That's what's up. So BP sent us a picture of this jacket he was talking about that said he said it went hard. But I'm just going by this is the
one I showed you before we logged on, George.
Oh, yeah, that one. So before I talk about that, you can leave that up there. But he's going with Iowa in game 2. Come on, BP.
Yeah, what the hell? Come on, man.
Marcus Scott, man. I love you, but come on, man. So this is another jacket that's out there. And Ship actually showed me this one earlier. And this is one of the things that is it's pretty slick. I like the white one, but that's that old starter jacket, shininess. That's the only thing I don't like about that.
That's from my time. That's from my time.
Yeah, that's that shininess. I had a brown starter jacket. It was ugly because it was brown and orange, but I had one, and that shininess just doesn't go with everything. That black wool, that home field
Right.
doing.
And that material right there, it stains with real easily. Like you get a stain on it, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you're kicking it with Jesus somewhere. Other than that, it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get dirty.
So no, that's the only thing about. And I like both of them. Now, what company is that, Chip?
That's Charlie Hustle.
Hey, Charlie Hustle. We're gonna tag you in this. Send me a jacket, please. My address is. I ain't gonna say that out there because y'all might try to stalk me. I got stalkers out there probably from somewhere. I think. I don't know. I'm not that cool, but it may be nice if I had a stalker. I don't even know where that came from. So what else we gonna talk about today? Because we talked about that. So we're talking about our season and the 5 starters that are out. We're talking about what we're gonna look like, talking about the new Big 12, 14 teams. Joe picked up the jersey, everybody picking the jersey. So we got to start getting a poll out there. I don't know if our platform does polls, but I want to get the polls out here so we can start doing polls with this and everything like that. But I'm looking forward to what Iowa State does holistically from a sports aspect. We're going into a year where there are a lot of big things with football with the Jack Trice and things like that. So all eyes are really on the football team right now. And I want to clear the air while I talk about this is I posted something on the Trice Legacy Foundation. As if you all don't know, I am the founder of the Trice Legacy Foundation. I'm a cousin of Jack Trice. My grandfather was Jack's first cousin, and that is my relation. And I posted a letter from Missouri that said that they were not going to play Iowa State or Ames College if they still had Jack on the team. And that's not the words they used, but a black player on the team. And I posted that the other day, and it wasn't to spark controversy. It was to spark thoughts. We have come a long way, but it seems like we're regressing a little bit in some things that we're doing. And I'm not going to make this racially. I'm not going to make this political, but we are regressing in some things. And the reason why I posted that as we go into this season was to show that that's the mind state that we were in at that time. And one of the things that I wanted to pull out of that is I wanted people to think about that. So I left that up there for like 3 days, and I did that on purpose. The things that I do are intentional. If I put a poll out there, yes, I was having a little beef with Iowa State athletics in 5 bars. Yes, I admit that. I'm being honest with you all, trying to figure out how we work together with 5 bars, Trice Legacy Foundation, and the family. Yes, out there, you read it right. We're working on that. That's there. When you look at what we're dealing with there and what we're dealing with now, and that letter, if Jack would have lived, would we have had a football season? And that's why I posted that, because schools didn't want to play us because we had a black player on our team at Ames College. So let's say Jack lived through this Minnesota game and the rest of the season, the teams that didn't want to play us didn't play us. They forfeited the games. We would have had a great season that year of winning, but that's what it would have been. And so I bring that up because I don't want everybody to think that the celebration of Jack Trice 100th anniversary stops on October 7th. October 7th is when he passed. October 8th, after the game, we are planning a kind of not a reenactment, but we're going to be meeting at the Campanile from noon to 1. I think I'm throwing this out there early, but noon to 1 on that Sunday, which the 8th, which is actually the day of his death. We're going to be at the Campanile. President Winterstein, myself, and some others are going to be talking and kind of doing a culmination of what happened 100 years ago when the students got together at the Campanile. We'll be doing that. I want everybody, if you really care about Jack Trice, the legacy of Jack Trice, no matter if you who you ride with, whether it's Iowa State, whether it's Drake, whether it's whatever it is, when you're at that stadium throughout this year, for the rest of the season after October 8th, wear your 5 bars. Wear your Ames College, wear anything with Jack Trice on it, because we have to represent Jack at every game after October 7th as if he was there. Because had he not passed, that's what the season would have been. He was in that building every time. So we want to make sure that we're representing him in every game. So if you had your Jack Trice gear, wear it every Saturday that you can, because we want to support him and keep his memory going, because the legacy and the honor does not stop on October 7th and 8th. It keeps going through that whole season. Because again, you got to think about, had he been there, what would we be doing? What would we be talking about today? So that's my 5 cents of information. Take with it as you will, but that's what I got to do. I'm not trying to bring it down.
Because I have thoughts, but I want to get Marcus's first.
Well, I mean, it is
never played the stadium as a basketball Iowa Stater.
It is what it is. It is a tough conversation to have, but at the same time, it is a conversation that people have to understand. Like, we know the history, it did take place, and so just because we're in the 21st century doesn't mean we shouldn't be having those conversations about however uncomfortable things were back when. It doesn't matter what size you own, what race you own, whatever. We're living in a time now where that's not going on as much, or at face value. A lot of things, tons of things have changed, but still, we can't ignore the fact that that is a part of history. And we're talking about, American history, Chinese history, Italian history, whatever kind of history it is a sad and scary and unfortunate thing and pastime that we went through. But again, if we all have, memories of things in our lifetime, other people do as well, good and bad. And for that reason, we have to, when that conversation comes up, or that topic comes up, we have to be adults and find a way to get through it, agree to get through it the best way for all sides, and to understand we are where we are because of that. But you can't just sweep it up under the rug. We got too many things going on with different states, different sides, different political parties, and yada, 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 that want to do this and do that. Like, history is what history is. We have friends on both races and all kind of different races and things like that. And we have genuine friends that we've never from other races dealt with any of that. I talk to people all the time about that. Like, I don't know if I'm, because of fairer skin and have, Caucasian blood in me, that I've never dealt with racism, face value, or to the fact that I'm 6'8", nobody will really try me like that, face value, so it's just one of those dynamics that I've never honestly had to deal with. Now, in terms of me walking away, or somebody doing something, or saying something, or thinking something, or in a group of other people doing something, that's something that I've never had to deal with. Being 45 years old now, I don't even know how I would react to it. But if I am faced with it, I think I'm mature enough to understand how much of a threat it is versus how much of a threat is not, and understand how far we've come, how far all of our ancestors played a part in it, and understand where we are right now. We are a different generation than what it was then, but at the same time, we cannot run from that conversation.
Yeah. No, and before you say something, Ship, this is what I'll say. So Jack Trice was born a slave, everybody. He wasn't born in Ohio. He was born in Lexington, Tennessee. He was born of slave parents. They moved up to north where the family was, and that's how he ended up in Cleveland. I have found and connected to both sides of the Trice blood in Lexington, Tennessee. My man W. Clay Crook might be listening to this. He's the white Trice bloodline. My man John Trice, who I just connected with down there in Henderson County, he's the black bloodline, John Trice. That's down there. I'm going down there. The documentary that we were doing on Jack, I'm actually going down there because I want to see this. It's history. I'm not going to erase history. I'm not
right.
Shipley. I'm gonna be
right.
Just don't take this wrong way.
No.
Your parents, your family, your blood could have owned slaves.
Right.
That is not on you.
That is not on him.
I ain't mad at you for that. You my brother. Like you my dude. So it's like, why can't we got it? We can't erase history. It's there.
Right.
We got to accept it. Like W. Clay wants to take me to the plantation land. The plantation's gone because a tornado took it out. But he's taking me down there and seeing it. Take me to the cemetery where the white Trices are buried in the front and the black Trices are buried in the back. And he's like, do you want to see that? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I want to see where I come from. I want to see that. But also I'm going to see John Trice, the black side, to see how they're living down there now. There's a Trice Street down there, but it's like, we have to learn history. And I said this on a podcast a while ago, is like, there's a lot of racist statues out there. Don't destroy them. Put them in the museum. We still got to learn from that stuff. Right. We don't want to erase history. We want to learn from history.
But the same thing, just jump in before you ship. The same thing is the time we're living in now. The only issue that I would have with people now is if you have, as adults or coming up as, teenagers and things like that, what's going on. And if you do have someone in your family that's teaching that way, you need to speak up and be like, hey, that's not what we're doing. That's not how we're living. Like people tend to think or say, I'm black, I can't be racist. You're a damn lie. Like
Right.
if I see an African American or a black person or Hispanic or whoever being racist towards somebody else, I'm going to call it out as if I'm going to call it out to a Caucasian doing it. There's no difference. Like, we are all human beings. We are all living to make this world better, and we should be. And if we're in this time that we are now, again, the history is what the history is. We're not making new history and the present be what it was, but we have to change it from being the way it has been in order to move forward.
Yep.
So this is a unique position for me because I read this letter, George, that you put on here,
mm-hmm.
and it probably has a completely different profound effect on you than it does to me. I read this and think, man, that's a terrible thing, and I can't believe somebody would do that, and then I probably move on with my day. You guys read that and see so much more there. And that's part of the reason why I appreciate the ability to be able to connect with friends like you guys to help me see those things. I would like to think that I'm fairly open-minded, and I'll use the word woke because it doesn't bother me one bit. But that I also read things like this and think I have so much more to learn and to understand, not necessarily the historical values of it, but just profoundly how it affects you as a person and as a man who's equal to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Things like, especially when he says here, this has been discussed, and I know that you understand the tradition that a colored man cannot come here. It's like so nonchalant.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's
yeah.
And to be able to have conversations like this and to be able to learn from that. And I'm glad that you said that they're going to continue to do stuff there afterwards, because as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, man, it should be more than just October 7th that we're talking about this. And people are wearing, the jersey and whatever else because it looks cool and everything else. But what does it really mean?
Mm-hmm.
A man was there trying to better his life, to become a better person, to learn and to be educated so that he could help future generations of his family, and was murdered because of the color of his skin. Basically, it's just another story. And I'll veer off just real quick here, because this is why it's so important that we continue to teach these types of things in school and in history, because as God is my witness, 3 years ago, and again, I'm fairly educated, I'm fairly historically, I love history and things like that. 3 years ago, I didn't know anything about the Tulsa Massacre until 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to believe that I don't know anything about that.
Yep.
And I was looking for information. I was looking for to educate myself about those things.
Right.
And if people are taking those things out of the history books and don't want to teach those things, that's a dangerous precedence that we're setting.
Right.
Yeah, we can't erase history. I'm a friend. My friend, one of my acquaintances. I won't say he's a friend. He's acquaintances. I don't know him that well, but we've had dinner a couple of times. When I go to DC, I know the curator of the sports wing at the Smithsonian, the African American Museum out there. And so I have dinner with him when I go out to DC. I'm going out to DC at the end of September for a conference, and I'm gonna stay a couple of days. Have a dinner with him and my man Kevin Blackistone from the Wall, Washington Post, and University of Maryland, ESPN. So he and I, whenever I go out of town, we connect and things like that. But it's like, these are the conversations you have. And Kev is a historian. This is what he does. He does historian. He's a historian. So, it is, keeping that out there and keeping that history out there. So that's all we can do. So,
yep.
But as I change from that, Denny, BP and Joel, have you all made a reoccurring donation of at least $5 to the Trice Legacy Foundation? You like in our post. If you have not, please go to the tricelegacy.org and make a $5 or more donation on a monthly reoccurring basis, and I will send you something special because I need your money. I always need money.
That's right, because I got called out the other day, and I that's okay. I deserve it.
Am I on there?
Nope.
I don't think he called me out.
I didn't call you out. I just called Shipley out because the reason why I called Shipley out was because he
called the guy out
and gave the bloom. He gave the bloom first before he gave it to me, and I'm on the podcast, and he got me on under
In
him.
my defense, I didn't know that you could do a recurring donation. So back off.
I don't know. Am I the first time?
Marcus, are you on there?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, you just go to tricelegacy.org and that. But as I want to bring us back up. So that wasn't to bring us down. It's just, again, it's the time that we are in. And this is kind of where we at. As we look at Jack Trice, and so for everybody that knew, thanks Denny, thanks Joel, and thanks BP. One of the things that I want to talk about, and I'm going to say this real briefly about the Trice Legacy Foundation. I will spread myself wide. I tried to hit Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. Jack went to high school in Cleveland. I was trying to spread out there. But as I look at what I can do and where this story is, this story hits home in the Midwest, the true Midwest. And, do it yearly? You could do it yearly. You don't do, Meredith, you could do it. You could do yearly. I like what you're doing. I have changed what we do. And one of the things here that is important. So the black enrollment at Iowa State in fall of 2022 was 2.62%. It was like 800 and something black students, truly just full black students, not that people that consider themselves multiracial, but because we don't know what that multiracial is, but of just pure black students, an undergrad, it was like 800 and something students, 2.62%, where Iowa is about 4% black, 3.7-ish, 3.8-ish% black. So what we are looking to do is we are focusing and refocusing and kind of going back to our initial plan as to help increase the diversity at Iowa colleges and universities. Iowa State, Iowa, UNI, Drake, Grandview, DMAC, Prairie, whatever college is out there. If a kid from Iowa in elementary and high school is looking to go to school in Iowa, we need to get the diversity up in our Iowa schools. And so that's one of the posts I put out there about looking for people in the school system, is because I want to get our foundation within that. We are now part of the Ames Chamber of Commerce and the Des Moines Chamber of Commerce right now. We will be joining the Dubuque, the Davenport, Waterloo, wherever. We gonna join some of these places to get indoctrinated into these school systems to help these kids with what they need.
Nice.
Because the story about Jack is there, and Jack wanted to help people. What he wanted to do after he graduated was to go back down south and teach ex-slaves how to sharecrop and make a living. So basically, he wanted to help his community, help his race, help his family. We all family. It don't matter what school. I want to increase the diversity in Iowa because we need it. And it's funny I'm saying that right now because I was watching the news earlier, and the candidate that's leading Iowa for 2024, yeah, he leading it right now. Trump. Nothing to say about it. Just saying he leading it right now. I'm in Arizona. Arizona's a purple state. We don't know what side we're really on. We don't know if we're red or blue. But as a president, you should kind of take all that out to place, and you should just be for the people. So that's all I got to say about political. I don't know much about politics, so I don't talk about politics because I don't really know. I just know.
You can turn into O-Man strength for that. We'll fill you in.
Okay, so I'm gonna join O-Man strength. But I want to go away from that. So thanks for sharing that Ship on the Give Butter site. But yeah, we always need reoccurring donations. We want to give right back to the community of Iowa. We are supporting Iowa, so your dollars are going to go right back there. And everything that we do, please believe that. I love Iowa. If my wife did not hate the snow, she's from Cedar Rapids, Marion, Iowa.
Oh, mine hates the snow.
No, hate the snow.
Hey, I do too. I just talked about it last night. I absolutely hate the snow. I hate it. Every part of it.
Okay, I get it, but we hibernate here. Marcus, it's been 115 for like 30 some days.
I'll take it those 30-some days, but we get 72, 75 in February though. So we're gonna let it slide. Anything to stay away from the salt.
For everybody, you know, San Diego getting hit. You know, we talked about Maui last week, and I want to do like on partner interruption, partner interruption. We had an error last week. Last week I said volcano. It's not volcano. It is wildfire. So that is one of our errors.
Okay.
So I said volcano. Like, I don't listen to the podcast and I don't like hearing my voice on myself, but I know I said volcano, and that's what it is. What?
Hey, Charlie Kohler just made a big play in the preseason game tonight.
Who did?
Charlie Kohler.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have it on the TV right now, but you know, I don't know if you got anything else you want to hit on, because I got one more thing to hit on. It's going to take like 3 seconds, but I don't know if you got anything, Marcus, you want to talk about, or Ship, you got anything you want us to hit on real quick?
No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead. Let's just do some house cleaning, since we have a big week at Three Beards Media. So we had an episode of Like Father, Like Daughter last night. Okay. Hot Mess just released their new episode a couple days ago. Those ladies are going to join me at the Iowa State game. So I can only imagine what a shit show that's going to be. And then fall starts tomorrow night, and Old Man Strength later this week. So we have a lot going on, and then we are launching a big fundraising T-shirt next week that we're going to release some details on. So,
and as the Hawk people, the Hawks Eye View, are they going to get us
on
here?
Thursday night. They're going to do Thursday night, but I think we need to do a combined little episode. Get them guys on with you.
The week before the Iowa State game, I think we need to do a combined episode, whatever day it is.
That'll work. Work.
Let's do that.
Perfect.
But this is what I want to talk about real quick. This is the last thing. I'm gonna share this window real quick, and I want to. And this is I'm shouting this out to the marketing kid at Iowa State that has this.
Oh man.
And the reason why I'm putting this out here now, Marcus, I know this says Samuel Hayward. Don't ignore that piece. Mm-hmm. This is Reggie's son. This is a marketing thing trying to get him to come here. Now I see Jack Trice on there. I see Georges Niang on there. I see Kale on there. I see Monte on there. I see, some other people on there, Seneca on there, Purdy on there. Now, I do not see Reggie Hayward on there. I do not see Marcus Pfizer on there. And I brought this up because I want you to know that you should be on this poster, my dude. And the marketing person that did this kid that did this, I'm going to zoom out so y'all can actually see the full poster. But this is the full poster that they kind of try to see where legends are built. If we're talking about where legends are built and you don't throw Marcus in there and you don't throw Reggie in there, those are some Iowa State legends. Troy's in there, and Troy gonna join us, but we're missing you, Hollywood. What I mean,
hey, it is what it is. I mean, I still love the university without a doubt. At the same time, there's a Marcus Pfizer Jr. This is 6'6", 123 that hadn't gotten a publication like that either, but. It's neither here nor there.
We're gonna leave it on that note. So Side of Storm signing out. Marcus Pfizer, Chris Shipley, our parent corporation at Three Beards Media, Old Man Strength Podcast, Hot Mess Happy Hour, Hawks Eye View, father and daughter, like
father like daughter, and the new one, Ball Don't Lie.
And what?
We got a new one called Ball Don't Lie, a sports gambling podcast.
Ball Don't Lie. Nice.
Sports gambling. Maybe I need to log on to that one. I gotta
get on. I didn't even know we had that one. I'm learning
nothing about gambling.
Marcus, you can sign up under my name, Marcus. That way you won't get in any trouble.
I'm gonna get my pen and pad and take some notes.
Yeah, hey, put this one up there. My girl Meredith's on here. Meredith's been supporting the foundation and me for a minute. That's my homegirl. We've worked together. We've been cool for a long time, and she always comes through and has always been a supporter of everything. And it is remember watching you, Marcus. I was behind a KU car today. I had to pass him real quick because I got my Iowa State stuff on the back. So I passed him. And
I do that. I try to do that all the time.
I do it every single time. If I see somebody in the Big 12 or Iowa, I jump in front of that car just so they can see the back of mine. So my license plate. So
if I see him in the store with like some don't let it be an Iowa shirt.
Oh no,
I walk right up to him and just yell, right, go Cyclone, and just keep walking.
That's like the same thing I do when I see Steelers fan. Yeah, Meredith says she live in KC and it's brutal. But my license plate is kind of slick. So I'm out here in Arizona. We got the Cardinals. Brandon, just erase. Don't ever Shipley, don't put that stuff from Brandon up there like that. He still wear KU socks. But my license plate, so they have you can buy the, whatever your team is, Phoenix Suns, Iowa, Barnstormers or whatever. So I have one that's the Cardinals. So it's a big Cardinal face. And then it just says in gold on mine. So that Cardinal face in gold, Cardinal in gold. Like, and so people be like, oh, what does that mean? I'm like, Iowa State. Let's get it. So let's do it. So hey, we signing off for this day. Again, we doing it every week. We got some content coming up because the season's starting in 12 days, y'all, as we said. So hey, Joe, good evening to you. We'll talk to y'all later. Brandon, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow sometime, and I might not answer the first time because you saying rock chalk, but hey, we out tonight. Holla at you.
Peace.